So for those of you who might be interested in perhaps helping with some development on this as we take it further, I'll just give you a quick sort of few entry points into the code base. It's a Ruby on Rails application, which may turn some of you on and turn some of you off, but as you've seen from the quick demo, it's not a hugely complex thing. There's basically just a handful of model classes. If you check out the code and have a look in app/models, you'll see the two most important ones probably are clauses and members. So clauses it's a kind of simple key value store for things like the organisation name, what voting system is being used for this kind of decision and all that kind of stuff. So every time you change something in the organisation, it updates a clause. And we actually keep We keep a full sort of audit record of the state of the organisation at every point in the past. So you can always go back and say, when was this changed? What did the organisation look like at this point in time? The same with members. The standard kind of user management stuff, but also again keeping this history of when people were added, when they were ejected or left the organisation or resigned or whatever. And then attached to those, well not really attached, it's all fairly separate. We have proposals and voting systems. The proposals, you saw me making a couple of them, and each kind of proposal, for instance, a proposal to add a member is its own little subclass. So this is the add member proposal, and it knows how to enact itself if it gets passed, just adding a member based on the parameters you gave it when you made the proposal. And then we have a big list of voting systems that describe all of those different options for how votes get counted. So this is a relative majority, and it has description and just some little bit of maths to say, looking at the number of votes I've had, have I passed or not? And similarly for different kinds of voting systems. So it's actually a very small set of code to kind of get to grips with at this stage, and it's hopefully fairly readable. If there's any sort of major issues with checking it out and understanding it, then let us know because we should fix that. I mean, the interesting part of this is less the sort of technical complexity and more about how we design features in a system that the sort of minimum thing we need to do to deal with to actually comply with all of the legal things that we need to do to set up, say, an unincorporated association. There's quite a lot of little decisions that go into that. But anyway, so that's all unincorporated associations. Moving ahead to deal with things like companies limited by guarantee, which is kind of the next stage we're hoping to do for London Hackspace. What we're really looking at is extending some of these things. So as I was saying, the users at the moment, we just have one big list of members. That may need to get slightly more complex if you're dealing with a list of directors and a list of company members. There'll be different kinds of proposals / resolutions that make sense for a company rather than an association. But one of the sort of engineering challenges is that as we build the new system, we'd quite like to have just one code base that you can install and say, I want to set up an association, or I want to set up a company, or perhaps I just want this module that lets me submit this kind of document to Company House. We'd like to sort of modularize it a bit and hopefully keep it all in one code base without having to fork to have one version for associations, one version for companies. So we're still not entirely sure how we're going to approach that, so input there is much appreciated. I think that's about it, really. Yeah. Have I missed out anything important?
So where can people help?
Yes. Where or how?
How?
How, okay. Well, the first thing to do, really, if you want to get involved, is go along to our GitHub repository, which is down at the bottom. Check out the code, try and make it run, see if you can, get your head around it. Hopefully it's fairly simple, and as I say, if there's anything that's like ridiculously hard to understand, we should probably try and change that, so let us know. There's a mailing list there. There's also IRC, which I'm on all the time, pretty much, if you have any trouble. Yeah, and then we have an issue tracker. We're using the GitHub issue tracker to track bugs and features for the new version of the company's limited bug guarantee. And we're still very much in the design stage of that, so kind of discussion and input on how we approach that modularity and so on is much appreciated. So yeah, you can help by fixing the tiniest bug or by giving us design ideas, or implementing massive new features. It's all very kind of open, free development. Yeah.
In terms of